Hey, how in the world are you? So, listen, I wanted to hop on and I wanted to say what's up. B, I wanted to say, look, we are all we are all on this ship together. We're all on this planet together. We are all trying to figure it all out together. What's up, Robert J. Moore? How in the world are you, brother? Good to see you. Hey, Susan Day. Good to see you. So, I was just having a conversation a little bit ago with a very, very dear friend of mine. And we started talking about the just the ups and downs of life and how things can go sideways. Megan, how are you? Good to see you. What's up, Jason Alt? So I just got back from Vegas. I spent 5 days. Like I ended up having to spend the night in Minneapolis last night or the night before. I've never even been to Minnesota. And by the way, just so you know, if you find yourself spending the night in Minneapolis on April the 30th of any year, probably, you may want to make sure you have a jacket. I didn't take a jacket. I had no jacket, and it was colder than it was cold. So, but Delta screwed up it's a long story. Anyway, I ended up having to spend the night in Minneapolis and I flew back last night. So here I am. I'm back home. After a really great conference that I attended in Vegas, it was cool. But hey, I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about a lot of people know this and a lot of people don't know this. But I'm going to do something. I'm going to break, for those that don't know, I'm going to break my anonymity. I am a recovered alcoholic. There's my coin. That's a 16-year coin. That means I have been sober 16 years. If I make it to August this year, which I think I will be celebrating 17 years of sobriety with no alcohol or drugs of any kind. So, you know, I got it. Did you say perk up? This is I just had this long conversation about this and I don't want to say it makes me nervous because it doesn't make me nervous talking about it. But look, for many years, I didn't know any other way of existing without alcohol. I literally I would say things like, how do these people that get sober and don't drink, how do they ever have fun? Ew. Like, I'm not an alcoholic. Those people go to meetings. I used to make fun of it. Like, I was I was like I was a train wreck. And for many years I had no idea. I always thought it was somebody else's fault. I always thought that somebody that it, that I wasn't the problem. The alcohol, don't even tell me if you were in my life and you were, especially if you were a female trying to have a relationship with me, if you said ever to me, you have a drinking problem, you were either going to like change your mind or you were going to hit the bricks. There was no in between. I didn't want anything to do with anybody that thought that I had any kind of a drinking problem. Brian Hess, how are you? Robert Brooker, Tracy. So there's Patricia. Hey, Patricia. So I eventually, after losing many relationships, hurting a lot of people, hurting myself over and over and over, DUIs, stupid things, just stupid things that I never realized how sick I was. Even though there were plenty of people that tried to tell me, I didn't realize how messed up I was. What's up, James Springer? How you doing, bro? So I thought, you know what? I'm going to come on here and I'm going to just share from my heart. And I got to tell you something. We all have an internal guidance system. We have a built-in GPS system. There is something inside of each and every one of us. You can call it God if you want. I call it God. I call it, whatever. But like, call it whatever you want. What's up, Anthony Santangelo? How you doing, brother? So call it whatever you want. There is a GPS system built in each of us, telling us, guiding us, nudging us, sometimes knocking the crap out of us, but trying to say, hey, man, don't do that. Don't go that way. That is like you're at the fork in the road. Don't take that fork. That's a bad one. There's something telling you. But most of us choose to ignore it. What's up, Ermelo? How you doing? Thank you for sharing, Susan. And so I had this thing telling me for many years, dude, you drink like a moron. Like, well, you don't drink like a moron. You just you become a moron. It was that Jekyll and Hyde thing. And so I years later, and I'm talking, let's see, I started drinking. I'll bet you I had my first, I'll bet you the very first time I got drunk, I was probably 8 or 9 years old. It was ridiculous. What's up, Frank Crinitti, my brother? How you doing, man? I love that dude, by the way. If you don't know who Frank Crinitti is, follow him right now. That dude is amazing. So I was young. I mean, really, really young. And I started hanging out with the older kids because they drank and I was younger and I wanted to be like them, right? And so years later, and all through my teens, I was on and off of probation, mostly on. I was in trouble a lot. I was court ordered to Alcoholics Anonymous. I was going all kinds of issues, right? Alateen, all these things. And finally, at the age of 34 years old, and again, many different businesses, relationships, and again, I lost all these things, but it was always somebody else's fault. It was never my fault. It was somebody else's fault. At the age of 34 years old, I'm sitting on a bar stool in a high-class bar, very high-class bar, right? Because that's not an oxymoron. A high-class bar. It doesn't even seem real to say that today. But I'm sitting in this bar, and at this point, I'm drinking a bottle, one of the bigger bottles of Crown Royal every day, drinking as much beer as I can get in on top of that. Bud Light, I know a lot of people judge me for that, but whatever. Hey, Beth Hoover, how are you? Mitch, what's up? So here I was like sitting there, and this dude comes walking in that I knew, sits down next to me. He's like, hey, brother, hey, I put in my notice, man. I said, you did what? And he's like, I put in my 2-week notice at work. And I'm like, congratulations, bro. What are you going to do? And he goes, what do you mean, what am I going to do? I go, what are you going to do? Like, you're quitting your job? And he's like, dude, you hired me. I go, what are you talking about? I didn't hire you. In fact, we're downsizing. Like, I can't hire you. What are you talking about, bro? He's like, you said you were going to hire me to run your service department and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, no, we did not have that conversation. And it is in my book. And he says, dude, you offered me a job. You told me to put in my notice that I could start right away. And I said, bro, I don't remember that. He's like, you were drunk? I didn't think you were drunk. See, something happens to an alcoholic. Their tolerance for alcohol becomes unpredictable. And mine had become unpredictable. I could be in a complete blackout, not even remember your name, and you wouldn't know it. You would think I was stone cold sober. I had an unpredictable tolerance. So here I am sitting with this dude, and he finally gets really upset. And he says, you know what? And remember, I'm in a high class bar. that sounds stupid to even say that. I'm in a really high class area in a bar. And so I'm sitting there and I go, dude, he looks at me and he says, dude, you know what? You're nothing but a worthless drunk. And everybody around here knows it. And like, there's people like right around us at the bar that heard him, and he was mad. I mean, he was mad. And he goes, I can't believe this. And he gets up and he walks out. And I'm like, and I'm sitting there and there's people around and they kind of look at me a little bit, you know, but they're trying to act like they didn't hear anything. I've never done that, but like, you know, they're trying to act like they didn't overhear this. What's up, Mike Phillips? And so I said, I'm looking at them and they go back to their conversations. And I mean, it was literally, and it's a busy restaurant bar that I'm sitting in. It was literally like everybody in the entire place left. And I felt like I was sitting there 100% all alone. And I was freaking terrified. And I was freaked out. And I was like, he just called me a worthless drunk and said everybody around here knows it. And then I'm like, I got to go to the bathroom. And I wasn't sure if I had to pee or throw up. Maybe both. But I went and I peed. And I came back and I sat down, had half of a beer sitting there. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I cannot live like this anymore. And I was like, okay, I got to do something. So I paid my tab. I left half a beer sitting there. Now, I had 7 beers or more that night and stone cold sober. Like I remember it vividly. And I went back to my hotel. Yes, I drove like a moron, but that was about the 10,000th time of doing that. Somebody called me, tried to get me to go out and all this. And I said, no. And I shut my phone off and I literally like started crying. And I said, God, if you're real, I need your help because I don't know how to do this on my own. I do not know how to do this on my own. I was terrified. I was at the end of my freaking rope. I was done. I didn't know what else to do. I knew, and I had known for many, many, many years that moment needed to happen. I knew it for many years. But denial, man, it's powerful. Denial, there's an old saying, denial's not a river in Egypt. Okay? I don't even know what that means, but I do. But I was in so much denial that it was trying to kill me. My skin was yellow. My eyes were yellow. I was becoming jaundiced. I was bloated. I was a mess. I mean, a freaking mess. And I didn't know what to do. And so what do you do when you're at the end of your rope? Tie a knot and hang on, right? No, man. I had to let go of everything I thought was real. I had to let go of all of it. And turn it over to something that I didn't even know if it existed. But like, look, I had to go like, okay, like God, everybody's talking about God will help you through it. I'm like, well, where is he or she or whoever? Where is this God that everybody talks about? Because I feel like a piece of shit right now and I can't drink anymore and I want to drink and I don't know what to do. And so in that moment, I fell asleep. In that moment, I fell asleep. Hey, Holly, how are you? I fell asleep in the hotel room. And the next day I got up and I had remembered long ago at one of those meeting things I went to, that they said, dude, just ask God, this God that I didn't know anything about, ask God to help you stay sober first thing in the morning, right when you wake up. So I'm like, all right, hey, dude, hey, it's me. I don't think I need to introduce myself. Like, you know me. right? You've seen me do all this crazy stuff. Love you too, bro. You've seen me do all this crazy stuff. We know each other. If you could help me stay sober today, that would be fantabulous. Appreciate you. Peace. Amen. Right? And that night I went to a fellowship meeting, and that was August the 10th of 2002, which is my sobriety date. And by the grace of God, who I still am trying to figure out who this dude is, right? But hey, Gayla, how are you? So by the grace of God and all the stuff I've learned about myself over the last almost 17 years, by the grace of God, I have not had to take a drink or have a mood or mind altering drug since that day, which is a miracle. Because look, for me, if you knew me back then, and if there's anybody on here that knew me back then, keep your mouth shut. I'm just kidding. Back then, I was nuts, man. I was crazy. I literally, like, there's this restaurant chain here in Ohio called Bob Evans. And Bob Evans is a great restaurant for families, right? It's a great restaurant to have a business luncheon or meeting and drink some coffee and eat some food and some good stuff, right? Good home cooking food. It's a chain of restaurants all over the place. And they don't serve alcohol. So I would never, ever, I wouldn't meet you for breakfast at Bob Evans because there's a chance I might want to have a drink with my breakfast. Like I would not go to a restaurant that didn't serve alcohol ever. It wasn't going to happen. Don't ask me. I will not do it. And as far as employment, like getting a job wasn't even in the cards. Like it wasn't an option because employers don't like it when you show up at 11 a.m. and leave at 2 p.m. They don't like that. They really frown on that. They don't pay you well for that. So I had to work for myself. And that's what I did. I worked for myself and I stop. Amen, Stacy. I agree with that. So when you write a long post, it takes a minute. I didn't realize, and here's the worst part for me when I first got sober. The worst part for me was part of the deal. What's your opinion on woman and child beaters? Really? You don't even have to ask me that. I can't stand it. I'm unfortunately as a child went through some of that. So like when I got sober and I had to go look in the mirror and I had to look at me and all of the stuff, all of it. Because when you remove alcohol from an alcoholic, you still have all the ick. And hey, Fran Taylor, how in the world are you? Yeah, don't like any of that, Stacy. Like, I had all that ick I had to deal with. I had all of the past that I had to deal with. I had to make amends. I had to do all of the stuff that I never wanted to deal with. So getting sober for me, like it was like for example, movies. Like I had seen many movies, but after I got sober and was sober for a while, I'd watch a movie and I would go, I feel like I've seen this movie before, but like I couldn't remember what I'd seen in the movie. So like, like the moment of truth. I don't care if it's alcohol you're dealing with, drugs, a sexual predator, you're in a relationship where you're getting beat up. I don't care what it is, you have to have that moment of truth, that moment of clarity, that moment where you go, I can't live like this anymore. I can't be in this this situation. I can no longer put myself in this situation. And unfortunately, there are far too many people that let it go too far. And I to this day, there's something called survivor's guilt. To this day, I still think, man, why me? Why was I picked to be one of them that gets to stay sober? Like, and I'm not saying I'm going to be sober for life. I take it one day at a time. I hope I am. That's the goal. It's, but like, what about the ones that I've seen come and go that don't make it? It's incredibly sad. Absolutely incredibly sad. Because it literally, I was watching an interview with Grant Cardone that he did with this guy out in LA. And he was talking about that. Like, it's a choice. It literally is a choice. Now, I've heard people say, oh, an alcoholic or a drug addict, they don't have a choice. I don't agree. I think, if I decide to drink, if I decide to screw up my life, that's a choice. Nobody's forcing me to do that. Nobody is forcing me to do that. So it comes down to that moment that you're going to go, you know what? I can't live like this anymore. I can't be like this anymore. I can't hurt people around me anymore, whether it's the alcohol or the drugs or whatever it is. Tammy, it's great seeing you. It was great talking to you too. Whatever it is, we all have to have those moments. I still have those moments every day of my life. I don't judge I'm not like, look, if you, a friend of mine used to talk about this. He said that, he said that he used to drink a lot of wine, and he said this guy said, or he was in some meeting or something, and said, I've wondered if maybe I do have a problem with drinking. And this other dude said, if you've ever had the thought, I wonder if I have a problem with alcohol or drugs, you do. If that thought's ever crossed your mind, you probably do. Now, it doesn't mean that you're an alcoholic. Only you can determine that. But if you are at that place in your life where you're like, I can't whatever it is, I don't care what it is. If it's drugs, alcohol, a bad relationship, or whatever it is, like, man, you get like, this is it. This is life. This is not a practice round. This is not a practice round. This is it. This is it. This is all we get. Like, give your life your full attention. Give your life your full attention. Give it everything that you have. Give it everything that you have. You're not practicing. Give it everything you got. Everything. And I can't tell you that I've always done that, because I haven't. And I can't tell you if I'm being 100% transparent and honest. I can't tell. Why does it look like my eyes are glowing? It's the glow off of the computer screen. I can't tell you that. Hold on, I think I can fix that. Oh, snap. I think I did. I can't tell you that it's always perfect, because it's not. I can't tell you that every single time I am, that I have a thought of wanting to be better. Like, I can't tell you that I nail it every time, because I don't. There's nobody on this planet that's perfect. So I'm not judging. I'm not judging you. I'm not judging anybody. I've been there. And look, there are many people, everybody on this stream, every single person on this stream, we're all dealing with something. Every one of us. So who am I to judge? I'm not God. Who am I to judge you? I'm not judging anybody. But I will tell you this. I've been blessed with the opportunity to help other people. just like you have. We're all given the same 24 hours in a day and all the other cliches. We are all given the ability to help other people. And if you're strong in one area of your life, then it's your duty to take that strength and take it out to the world and help people. Go help people. Don't live selfishly. And that's why I decided, after having this conversation with a good friend of mine who's on the stream right now, I had a conversation. I said, you have inspired me I've told my story before. I've talked about it. I've talked about this before, but not everybody's heard it. And so I was inspired to come on and say, look, no matter what. What's up, Christopher? How you doing, bro? No matter what. I don't care what you're going through. I'll tell you, when I first got sober, almost 17 years ago now, when I first got sober, I couldn't find my ass with both hands and a flashlight. I was like lost. I was lost. I was terrified for the first 5 years. And I don't want it to sound like it was a miserable existence, because it wasn't. My worst day sober is better, 100 times better than my best day in a blackout. I didn't say drunk, because I had some good times when I was drinking, until I crossed the line and that Jekyll and Hyde happened. What I'm telling you is, if you have a strength that you're hiding from the world because you're caught in the throes of something unhealthy, man, there's life on the other side of it. And I was terrified of that life. I was terrified of my strengths. I was terrified of what do I do if I'm not drinking? I mean, how do people even have fun if they can't drink? And today, life is different for me. Today, I can sit, you can ask Frank Crinitti, my buddy Frank. And a lot of people, I like to have fun. I love to laugh and have fun. And guess what? Today, I do not have to drink to have fun. So whatever it is you're going through, I get it. I totally understand. And it can get better. I promise you, it can get better. But you have to surrender to... And look, you don't have to be like, I'm not saying you have to surrender to, if you don't, like I've had people say, well, I don't believe in God. That's all right. Just believe in something greater than you. That's the first step. Like, eventually you're going to believe in God. It doesn't have to be today, but eventually you will believe in God. You will. I promise you that. You will. Eventually you'll believe in God. Just take the first step, though. Surrender. Get real with yourself. Get honest with yourself. And then take action. Massive action. Take action. Reach out to somebody. Reach up to somebody that's been there and done it. Reach up to somebody that can actually help you. Reach up to that person that can help you. Because there's life after all of the craziness. And I'm living proof. I am living proof of it, I promise you. It's going to get better. There is no other option. That's right. And I've been through it all, man. I've suffered through depression, which, now knowing what I know, like depression is a thing for me. Like, that just means I'm not busy enough. I need to get busy. I need to set some goals, and I need to start working towards those goals. That's where depression, like, dude, what's it say? The Bible says, or maybe it wasn't the Bible, maybe it was some man-made saying, but an idle mind is the devil's playground. If you're not busy, if you're not setting goals and targets and achieving and growing as a human being, man, anybody would get depressed. Anybody. So now, I'm not a clinical psychiatrist, so I don't want to hate mail saying, hey, dude, Depression is real. I have the right to be depressed. Hey, dude, be depressed if you need to be depressed. That's cool, whatever. I'm saying for me, this isn't about you. This is about me and my story. For me, I know that if I'm not busy, if I'm not setting some goals to make this a better world and make myself a better person, to deliver a better product and a better message, for me, I'm going to be in trouble. I'm going to be in trouble. Dr. Ken, no. No. Look, I was having this conversation with somebody today, just a little bit ago. And I said, you have inspired me to get on because I know that if I get on, I can help somebody, not because I'm wise, not because I'm like the wisest person in the world, but because I have put myself through a tremendous amount of pain and other people as well. And as a result of that, I've gained wisdom. There's a saying, and I wrote this in my book. Pain is the predecessor of all wisdom. Pain is the predecessor of all wisdom. So take the pain that you've been delivered and look, we all are delivered pain, all of us. So don't walk around like you're a victim. Don't be a victim. Take your pain and take it out to the world to help other people. But the first step is don't BS yourself. Don't kid yourself. Get real and get honest. Get transparent with you. Like hey, go out and convince the rest of the world, your family, your friends. Convince all of those people all day long, all that you want. Hey, Susie Q, I see you popping on. Convince all of those people that you're completely okay and nothing's ever goes wrong in your life. That's fine. But the one person you can't spend your entire life lying to is the one that you're looking at every morning in the mirror. Get honest with that person. When you get honest with that person, and I mean really dig deep, and look at all the crap in there that life has thrown at you. Life has thrown it at you, but you can heal from that. You can heal from that, and you can take that pain and you can take it and help other people. You can help other people, but you got to dig deep, man. You got to go down inside there, grab all that muck and just start getting it out of there, man, and start helping other people. That's what this life is for. I'm truly convinced that number one, spirituality, being a spiritually healthy person cannot exist in a vacuum. You could not live on a remote island all by yourself and be spiritual. You have to be helping other people. You have to be in the presence of other spiritual beings. And you have to take your pain and turn it into the lessons that life has given you and take it to people that are suffering. Get out on a Facebook Live and tell people, hey, look, I went through this. And this is how I dealt with it. And this is where I overcame. This is what I did. These are the steps I took to overcome this. Go help other people. Take your pain and get real with yourself. And go help other people. Don't keep it all to yourself. That's selfish. Help other people with it. Take what life has given to you. Learn how to heal and go help other people. So that's all I've got. John Fairchild, amen, brother, amen. Thank you guys, all of you. Thank all of you for hopping on here at 7 p.m. Is it Wednesday? It's Wednesday. Jeez. Thank you for being on here. I love you all. I appreciate all of you. I am definitely not picking on anybody. Not at all. Thank you all. I love you all. Appreciate you being on here. Thank you for all the hearts. Wow, that's crazy. So cool. Thank you guys. All of you rock. And I will see you very, very soon. Have a great night. See you later.